Hey guys, it's Kirsten and welcome back to my channel. Today, if things look a little different, I am trying a new backdrop thingy, and then I just have like an LED lamp here because the lighting is really not good where I am in my kitchen. If you guys hear any meowing, that's just my cat frolicking around also. And then if you see me looking to the side, I'm just referencing my laptop, which has a few like bullet points with all of the key stuff that I want to make sure I include in today's video. In today's video, I'm just going to be discussing my experience or journey with breastfeeding and my milk supply, as well as how I was able to bottle train Kailah in a total of 3 days, despite her being the most stubborn, bottle-resistant baby on probably all of planet Earth. Before I get into all of that, I should make a few disclaimers first. Obviously, firstly, I'm not a medical professional, if you didn't know. You should always consult a doctor or your pediatrician on anything that pertains to your baby's health. And then secondly, I know that everyone is very opinionated on anything motherhood related, but I just want to remind you guys that if there are any mommy shamers lingering around that might feel inclined to shame me or anyone for choosing to bottle feed or formula feed, you should just remember that yes, while breastfeeding and breast milk are the most beneficial things that you can give your baby, there's nothing wrong with the alternatives, and in many cases, many people are unable to breastfeed entirely or for as long as they wish for reasons that may be out of their control. So I'll first just get started with my breastfeeding journey. I breastfed Kailah for about a year. My milk came in at about 7 days postpartum, and then I stopped breastfeeding her in January when she was 12 months old. My milk supply was very abundant when it did initially come in. I had enough milk to choke a horse. However, when Kailah was about 6 months old, I experienced a significant decline in my milk supply. She was having to work harder to get less milk. So she just was not feeling the best. And then secondly, when she was about 10 months old, that's when her first few teeth started to sprout up with more on the way. I'm not sure whether it was intentional or not, but she did start to clamp down on my nipples with her teeth from time to time, whether that be intentionally or just as a sort of way to soothe her teething gums. Regardless, it hurt very much. It was quite painful, and it made me feel a little bit anxious every time I whipped my boob out to go and feed her. And it, you know, babies are smart, intuitive creatures. They always feel what you feel, so I'm sure there was like anxiety from the both of us at play. Lastly, as Kailah got older, we began to notice these rashes developing around her face, both during and after feeds. They would pop up around her temples, her cheeks, just throughout her face. And we now know that these rashes were actually related to her lactose intolerance and her milk protein allergy that was recently diagnosed. We mistook these as just signs of her having sensitive skin or frequent heat rashes, and she was overall a very happy baby, so we did not think much of it until recently. So turns out she was in some discomfort, not just from the lack of milk, but because she was actually allergic to my milk, because obviously any of the dairy that I consumed was passed on to her through breastfeeding. So those are the 3 main reasons why I chose to stop. Now I'll just talk about the bottle training process itself. So in total, it took me 3 full days to have Kailah completely bottle trained. Before I started the process, I did do a lot of research. I watched YouTube videos, for example. I consulted her pediatrician and other moms out there. I did receive a lot of conflicting information from different sources. It became very clear to me that obviously, since all babies and moms and their experience with breastfeeding are going to be entirely unique, there's not going to be any one right way or foolproof way to bottle train a baby. You kind of have to tailor your approach to bottle training based on your baby, their personality, and habits, etc., etc. So I'll share with you guys the few pointers that I did actually find helpful with Kailah, and that might hopefully work for you guys as well. So firstly, you want to replicate your breastfeeding routine as much as you can. Obviously, the only thing that you want to change is the fact that you're giving them milk out of a bottle versus your boob, but you should not change much else beyond that. We would use the same positions, we'd be in the same typical rooms, we would feed on the same schedules. Yeah, we pretty much replicated everything of our breastfeeding routine, except for the fact that I would just try to incorporate less lighting for her to see the bottle and less distractions. Aside from creating an ideal environment, I also found it helpful to just choose one brand and type of bottle and stick with it. Do not change it unless absolutely necessary. My mom and I kind of went off our rockers and bought one of like every single bottle on the market. I'm serious, we went to Buy My Baby and every single one we were like, yep, one of these, one of these, one of these. And I honestly, in hindsight, think that that was more of a deterrent for Kailah in taking to a bottle. So they might gain more of a preference for one or the other. If you change them up too much and there's no sense of familiarity, then they might just start to get fed up and like resent all bottles altogether. So just choose one and stick with it. The one that we chose that we were the most happy with after all the ones that we went through were the Tomo bottles. You can get these on Amazon, at Bye Bye Baby, I'm pretty sure like any baby store. And the reason why I think these are so good for formerly breastfed babies is just because they are the most boob-like in terms of feel. Many bottles like the Philips Avent, which we had used on the rare odd occasion here and there when we were breastfeeding her, they're more plastic at the top, and then they just have like probably this much space where the actual nipple protrudes. However, this one, like the whole top face of the bottle is the silicone aside from this little ring. So when it's on their face and it's pushing against them, like it feels like a breast. Same with the nipple, it's very soft, it feels very natural, so to speak. And if your baby is like Kailah and they often like to cop a feel while they're breastfeeding on you, and if they were to go and cop a feel on this bottle, it's squishy, it is silicone-y. Closest thing to squishing a real boob, I think. So I thought these were really great. They're also great for preventing colic. They have the good airflow at the top, so I would highly recommend the Tomos. This is not sponsored, but Tomo, if you want to give me a call and hook it up, feel free. But then my third and probably most important pointer would just be to stay calm, consistent, and just don't give up and don't stress. You have to know that babies are very smart, intuitive creatures, like I said, so they'll be able to pick up on anything that you're feeling. And also, like, if you do choose to cave once, then they'll just start to think like, oh, you know, if I cry enough, they'll just cave again and they'll give me their boob again. It's just very counterproductive. You gotta stick to your guns, if you know what I mean. Like, if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it. That's probably what was like the hardest part for me, is because like I had to emotionally come to terms with the fact that I was gonna stop breastfeeding, and I don't know when or if I'm gonna have another baby, so it was very emotional. I honestly cried quite a bit because it was just hard for me, but if you do choose to start bottle training and to stop breastfeeding, you have to make sure that you're confident in your decision before moving forward. One of the hesitations that I did have, which I think would be informative to let you guys know, is I just was so scared that if I was gonna stick to bottle feeding, not cave and not give her my boobs, but she keeps resisting bottles, I was scared that she was gonna get dehydrated. So I talked to her pediatrician and I, you know, expressed my concern, and he just reminded me that it's literally human nature. It's instinctual for us to eat when we're hungry. And being as she was 12 months old, she was getting the majority of her nutritional intake from her solid foods, from her 3 meals a day. And she actually would still drink water out of a transition sippy cup, but not milk out of a bottle. So there's other ways to keep them hydrated. He suggested trying to give her more frequent hydrating snacks, like more yogurts or applesauces, like berries, stuff with like more hydration or like moisture in them to help try to compensate. I think that since she was drinking water from a sippy cup, her problem wasn't necessarily with the bottle itself. It was just from the fact that milk was coming from another place other than my boob. And in her baby brain, obviously, she thought, or she preferred, that milk was to only come out of my boob and not a bottle, you know? But they'll get used to it. They'll get through it. You just have to know that and stick to it. Just know that they will never like refuse themselves entirely, but you should always obviously keep an eye on how many wet versus dry diapers they're having while bottle training, because you don't want to let them get to the point of dehydration. But if you ever fear that it has come to that point, you want to call your doctor obviously and get their advice on how to move forward. I'll describe to you guys basically what the process looked like for us. We did start off with breast milk. We used as much as we could of the remainder of my frozen supply, but that ran out quickly. So we then started to implement part breast milk, part formula, until it was all formula. So we started with 4-ounce bottles and we tried to give them to her every 3 to 4 hours. So I would prepare the bottle, I would take her to my room, I'd replicate everything about our breastfeeding routine, except for I would make sure that the lights were off, and I would just try to put the bottle in her mouth instead of my boob. As soon as she'd feel it, she would just swat it away from her, and she would refuse, sometimes kick, and even scream or cry. The hardest part in the beginning, I think, was just actually being able to get the bottle in her mouth, because we just wanted her to know if she sucked on it, she would get milk, just like from my boob if she just gave it a chance. But it was getting her to give it a chance that was the hardest part. I have a tip or trick for that though, if your baby is also just offended by the sight of a bottle. If you do put them in darkness so they can't really see that it's obviously a bottle, what I did was I would take the bottle and I would like rub it on my skin, on my boob to pick up my scent. That might sound really weird, but it's like primal, it works. And then I would actually try to hand express as much of the milk that I had onto the nipple as I could, so that way when I put it near her nose, she could smell me and then it would work. She would put it in her mouth and have a few suckles, but she was so stubborn. That's what pretty much the whole entire day looked like. It was, she'll put it in her mouth finally with my little trick, and she would suck maybe an ounce before she realizes what's going on, and she would just slap it away and start crying. So the second day is when we started to have a bit better progress. Towards the second half of the second day, she eventually was starting to drink a couple ounces at a time. So it went from barely 1 ounce to 2 ounces every feeding. For all of the third day, she would get probably, if we were lucky, like 2 to 3 ounces at the very most. And it wasn't all just in one go. It was like stop and go, trying to convince her like it's okay. By the end of the third day, we were feeling super defeated, and I was just having that like remorse and guilt. I remember it was her last bottle before I was gonna put her to bed for the night. And it was just another 4 ounce bottle, but when we went to go sit down and give her the bottle, she actually took it willingly on her own accord and sucked all 4 ounces dry. And ever since then, she's been completely bottle trained. She doesn't refuse it. And we now give her 8 ounce bottles. We give her 3 8-ounce bottles a day, and she sucks them all dry. So I don't know, something just switched that third day. I really honestly think it was because she knew that I wasn't gonna cave anymore. And I think either she was just hungry enough, or she finally realized like, oh, this isn't too bad after all. So yeah, all in all, it was done within 3 days, and we haven't had any problems since.
Afternoon, miss. How was your nap? She's like, excuse me? What do we have for lunch here? What did mama get you? Your favorite beef hot dog, french fries, cantaloupe, honeydew, and strawberry. Little fruit salad. Mmm. Why are you making that face? You love melon. She just always has RBF, I've noticed lately. Now that she's a toddler, she's so sophisticated and opinionated. She's quite the critic. Crap, what am I doing? I should put a bib on her. We'll be right back. Ta-da! There we go, we're all safe. Why do you look so angry? You're so funny when you wake up from your naps. It's 20 degrees outside today. The skies are super blue, so we should go for a walk after this. How does that sound? You wanna go to the park? We'll go for a walk around town. You finish your lunch and then we'll go for a nice walk outside. How does that sound? Good? Are you all done? You almost said it and I almost got it on camera. Kailah, say all done. Are you all done? Yeah, that was so cute. Are we gonna go walk it off now? Honestly, she ate pretty much everything. High five. Thank you. I'm gonna get you. Ow, you got me. Let go so we can go for our walk. Oh no, if you don't let go, the tickle monster's gonna get you. My mom voice is so cringe and annoying, but I don't even care. Oh, I'm gonna get you. Okay, let's get you cleaned up and then we'll meet everyone outside. Yeah, are we gonna go for a walk? Okay, we'll be right back. Hopefully you guys can't hear the sound of the slight breeze too much. But we are finished lunch and we packed her diaper bag in like a blankie to lay on the grass with and a book with her little snack container and water. And we are gonna go play outside.
Kailah's just living her best life, just judging everyone and everything she sees and eating her snacks. Hey, you brooked your new shoes in, got lots of fresh air, but you're gonna sleep so good for mom tonight, hey? Kailah! She's like, sorry. Blocking out the haters. I'm just eating my snacks. Hey, Kailah? We'll get you inside, get you all cleaned up and disinfected, and then we will catch you guys later. We're quenching our thirst from all that nice sunshine we just took in. Hey, Kailah? I just disinfected her hands and her face and literally every exposed part of her. Took her overalls off, changed her bum, and now we're just having her afternoon bottle. She always does these like yoga stretches when I bottle feed her. Similar to what she used to do when I breastfed her though, she would always like do the most odd hand gestures or like grab her feet. I don't know, she's just always been a very fidgety baby when it comes to feeding. Hey, Kailah? You just love to do your yoga. You're gonna be a nice ballet dancer like mommy was, right? I can't wait till she's 2. I'm gonna put her in ballet. Woohoo! Yay! This whole living room is a mess. I really need to clean up her tornado of toys. I swear, I gathered them all, put them all away, but with the snap of her little fingers in 2 seconds, all the toys are back all over the floor, but typical toddler stuff, you know. She finished her 8-ounce bottle. There's just a little bit left that she couldn't get at the angle that I was feeding it to her. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to include in today's video. Hopefully you guys were able to take away 1 or 2 things that were helpful. The next video I'll be uploading will just be on how we were able to find out that Kailah had allergies and how we were able to successfully treat them and find the right formula for her. And then after that video, I will be doing my sleep training video. So I know a lot of you guys have been asking for that. So stay tuned, there's lots more to come. We hope you guys are all staying safe out there. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell button beside to get notified every time we post a brand new video. Can you say bye, Kailah? Yeah. Say bye, guys. I'm watching Coco Melon and playing.